Call the Stokes County Board of Commissioners meeting in order at this time. Now I'll ask Commissioner Morris to do the invocation. Please stand.
Let us pray. Our most gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the many blessings you've given us. We thank you for your grace. We ask you give us strength and wisdom as we do the county's business tonight. We ask that you be with those that are deployed around the world protecting our safety and security. These things we ask in Christ's name. Amen.
Amen.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I get approval of the agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
We're going to add something to it, or is it already on there?
It's already added.
Oh, is it okay?
At this time, I move to open the floor for public comments.
Each speaker shall be allowed 4 minutes for public comments with the option to yield time to another speaker or add an optional minute depending on the number of speakers that have signed up while abiding by the 30-minute total time limit. All speakers shall maintain good decorum and show respect and good manners. Vulgar language, profanity, inappropriate gestures, insults, personal attacks, accusations, and inflammatory language is prohibited. The chairman of the board shall enforce these rules, and anyone not complying with these rules shall not be allowed to continue. At their discretion, members of the board may address items from the public comment portion of the meeting during the commissioner comment period. First up, we have Tim Mabe.
Before he starts, could you turn the lights on up here?
Sure can.
Somebody.
Okay.
I would do it, but I don't know which one to put us in the dark.
Go, that's better.
Okay, can y'all hear me? My name is Tim Mabe. I've lived 75 years in Monaco. Under existing law, data centers receive sale and use tax exemptions on their construction materials, their HVAC equipment. Now that's a biggie. Computer hardware and electricity they purchase. The average citizen does not build a mega data center. Why do the richest people in the world not have to pay taxes like the corner hardware store? Billionaires are treated superior to us because our state officials cater to their every wish. At the local level, we can say, enough. We don't want your noise. We don't want your pollution. We don't want your fine particulate matter from your gas turbines. We don't want your nitrous oxides from your gas turbines. We don't want your bright lights. We don't want your non-disclosure agreements. In short, we don't want you. Build this monster data center where you grew up, not where we grew up. David Couch owns lots of land in Montana that he describes as pristine and beautiful. Would he want this 1800 Delta project next door to he and his wife? I bet he would hire 100 lawyers to stop it. Oh, by the way, Montana isn't any prettier than the view on Taylor Road off Moore Springs. Thank you.
Bertrand Bonnick.
Yes, good evening.
Then
Okay. My name is Bertrand Bonnie, and I'm at 1218 North Main Street as well as 0 Highway 311 in Walnut Cove. Today I'm speaking to urge that we as a county follow rules of procedure. In your rules of procedure for the commissioners, Rule 21 says Robert's Rules of Order, which are parliamentary authority. And I want to just highlight quick sections. Section 4, Rule 6B allows you to have special meetings. Rule 27 allows you to have public hearings. You have procedural motions whenever a motion comes to the floor. One, to procedural motion 6 to defer consideration 100 days, which can be revived at any point, and procedure 9 to refer to committee. And I would say being able to take advantage of this will be very helpful in terms of calming down the controversy or potential conflict. So my recommendation concerning the issue of the data center is one, that the commissioners would consider calling a special meeting, 4 to 6 hours. It's well within their authority, in which time they have proponents and opponents, and they are given equal time and alternated until such time to give you an ability to look at both sides of the question carefully, because I think both sides, from my parliamentary point of view, deserves to be considered. I'm a National Association of Parliamentarians, number 3212. I'm a registered parliamentarian, and that's something that I do, consulting with nonprofits. And also, for the second time, I will be running the Young Lawyers Convention for the American Bar Association. So, one of the considerations I have for them is for them to be able to hear both sides. My 4 recommendations are: 1, consider the zoning question of adding a data center to M2 as one motion and have it on that one particular day. If there's a second motion requiring approval that depends on the passing of the first law, I would say just limit the debate to that first thing first. First, find out what the zoning is, make a decision on that, and then at another session, subsequently, you can approve any subsequent proposal. 2, if I ask to build 8 dental offices on my 6 acres, I wouldn't expect you to do it as one project. I'd expect you to examine each building separately and make sure that they're up to standards. 3, I would ask that you preserve the ability of Walnut Cove to keep their ordinance 19.2 intact, where they can call for emergency powers. We had a bomb threat the other day and they closed things down. If you have a major center that objects to stopping transportation and doing things like that, it'll be a problem. So be considerate. And 4, invite a representative from Walnut Cove to come over here as a part of when you're processing motions that considers Walnut Cove. Out of courtesy, it'll be a good idea, so you know exactly what the impact is for them. And I yield. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Joyce?
Hello, hello. I am Joyce Slate Trish. My house, our house, is approximately 1 mile from where the proposed data center will be. I have been a lifelong resident of Stokes County. I would say in King for the first 20 years, and then when I married, brought my Texan home with me, and he was working in Rockingham County. So we moved halfway in between, and we have lived in the same house in Briarwood Acres, along with about 40 other houses now. In 1978. We cleared just enough land to build the house. The rest of it is woods. We like where we live. We also have a well, as do all the rest of the people in Briarwood Acres. Duke Power does not have a great record with wells and the coal ash. we don't want the data center. It's like a 5-year plan thing, and after 5 years it will be obsolete. So for 5 years, you're going to do away with the health of all the people that live in that area. It's not something that we need. It's not something that we want to have. If the people, the billionaires that want this, wanted to build it in their neighborhood, go right ahead. I don't see any of them doing that. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, no, it's not anywhere around any of their stuff. So why should it be in Walnut Cove? Thank you.
Thank you.
Lou Novak?
Evening, Commissioners. My name is Lou Novak, and I live approximately half a mile from the proposed data center. We've been here 23 years, and like the lady before me, we actually cleared our own land, and we have 3 acres now. And basically built most of our home, and wanted to live here the rest of our lives. Raised our kids here. We love Walnut Cove, and basically the beauty of it, the charm of it, is that it's quiet, rural. Just good country folks, a lot of agriculture. I grew up in an agriculture area. My wife did too. And if the data center was there when we got here, there's no way I moved here. And that leads me to my next point. We're all about our county growing, right? And good homes and good families moving to this area. Who wants to move into a neighborhood where you have a big data center? Anyway, just think that for a moment. I don't know if any of y'all would feel. How would you feel if it was a half a mile from your house? To be honest. When our developer was sharing with us, he had a lot of good points and stuff, and he was very smooth. I get all that. He's selling a product. I get that. But we were supposed to receive $40 million worth of tax revenue, approximately. Am I right? And as soon as the vote was cast, it was down to $20 million. Again, my point is, it doesn't mean anything unless it's in writing. And they can promise us the world, and next thing you know, just do the opposite. So we're concerned. We are. We are your people. We're your constituents. We're not your opposition. We're your people. And all we're asking is you guys to represent us. And do what, if you're in my shoes, how would you feel? What would you be doing right now? And also we had these professionals, were brought in here, but they were our professionals. They were their professionals. Let's bring someone in with unbiased opinions on the water. What's this really going to do to our water? The PCPs, that's not something made up. We understand that these can affect your water quality. Not to mention all the other things I already said, the air, the land, the Dan River. I love to go kayaking and fishing, and I love the Dan River. I'm a member of DARPA, and it means a lot to me to have clean water. Another thing was brought out, we have a debt to Stokes County. We understand that. But my question is, are we realistic about the price we're going to have to pay for this uncertain revenue? I already mentioned about the hindering growth. Families won't choose to live here. It will hinder tourism. We have tourist buses. Used to come to Walnut Cove and stop at Kathy Dick's, Just Plain Country, get off. And there's a lot of things to see right here. We got Hanging Rock. This is a beautiful area. A data center, who wants to look at Hanging Rock and look to your right and there's a data center? it's going to hinder tourism. Outdoor activities, biking, kayaking, again, that's going to make you not want to go outside if you're going to have to listen to that noise. Property values are going to suffer. And the price of electricity is going to go up. Regardless of what they say, eventually it's going to have to go up. Air quality, we already talked about it several times. Again, we enjoy walking, can't do those activities if the air isn't good. And we need to consider our next generation. We, like I said, we raised our kids here, and this is now all about us. We're older. And I like to live here until I die, But I'm thinking about the next generation. Basically, I know I don't want to give you just a quote, but they say the developers get rich off data centers, but we get the pollution. The last meeting we were at, I remember it was mentioned that we did not have any ideas. We got tons of ideas, and I suggested someone, one of the CCs, and I didn't say anything about it. But I got called and I said, why don't you go to one of our meetings? And the answer was, who wants to go to a meeting with the opposition? We're not nobody's opposition. We are your constituents. We think of the alternatives I was talking about. This could be a tourist-friendly area. We can make a park, a community center, or conference center. That's something needed in this area. The support, the people paying the tolls to come into that would pay for the maintenance of it and so forth. We think the burial grounds, the Sourtown, that should be preserved, along with the Harrison Plantation Home. I would love to see that. I'm a handyman. I would volunteer to help restore that home. And this is part of the heritage of this community. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sandy Novak?
My husband just spoke, and I think that we need to consider not so much money issues as much as we need to consider people issues. People come to the country a lot of times because they have health issues. Health is a very big thing. I have a problem with I have a lot of allergies. So we're talking about pollution that's going to come in, that's going to affect people who have problems already. It could hasten how long I have to live on this earth. Not that I'm regretting that, because I know where I'm going when I leave this earth. Praise the Lord. But there's such a thing as truth that has to be presented at these meetings. And the truth of it is this. People are more important than problems. The Lord promises He'll give us strength, He'll give us courage, He'll give us the wisdom we need to face each problem we have. And we've been praying about this data center. And as I said at the last meeting we had, the Lord put on my heart as I was reading my Bible, one of the main issues of this data center is the love of money. And my Bible tells me that the love of money causes all kinds of evil. All kinds. It comes in. And we're deceived in thinking it doesn't. We have a debt here, so money's an issue. People don't have jobs. We're looking at that. You're thinking this will bring in more jobs. I've studied this data center just a little bit, and even the major ones. And what I've seen in my research is the most they employ is around 25 people after they're finally built. 25 people. We're talking about bringing something in on our community, on our town, on our future here, for the sake of 25 people having jobs, or for the sake of us paying a debt off that we have that's big. Does the Lord not promise He'll supply what we need? He owns the cattle on 1,000 hills, and He can give us wisdom in these meetings to come up with ideas and thoughts. It's hard to say what we could come up with to promote this community and what we have here. Like my husband said, we're transplants. I'm from Pennsylvania. We were missionaries in Mexico for almost 10 years. I lived in so many homes during that time because my husband's a handyman. When you go in a home in Mexico, there's nothing in it. You put cupboards in. You do everything in those homes. You have a blank slate, basically. And when you get it fixed up and it looks nice, and I like pretty things. I like a pretty house. And my husband did all this for me in Mexico. But what happened was, the people we rented from, when they came in and saw what we had, because my husband's a good carpenter, they wanted to raise the rent on us. Being missionaries, we couldn't do that. So we moved to another place and started over. And then we'd have to do the same thing again, move to another place and start over. So what did we do when we came here? We did not have money. We were not wealthy. We were not rich. But we had the Lord. And I have a husband that knows how to do things. And we got on our property here, our 3 acres. We cleared the land. We built our home little by little as we had money. We used things that people threw away and transformed them and made them nice. We have a nice home. And I dare any of you to think about where you live. We have invested. We got here in 2003. From 2003 to this time, that's 23 years we've lived here. We've been working on our home, on our property, and we have become a part of this community. We do not want it ruined. I don't know how more passionate I can be about this. We do not want it ruined. I propose that there be a moratorium. I propose that there be something on this that stops this in its tracks until each one of you can personally examine what's going on across our country with these data centers and explore it more. You just don't bring something in on the community and then we have to pay the price in the long run. We do not do that. That is not the way of the Lord. And I use these words. You know, when we talk to our kids, we say something's right or something's wrong. But everybody wants to change their language nowadays so that they have words that are more compatible with everyone. Well, I want to go the opposite direction. And I want to say this. Instead of saying what's right for our community, why don't we say what's righteous for our community? Instead of saying what's wrong for our community, right and wrong, why don't we say what's wicked that we're going to bring in on our community? And when you use those words, what does it do? It brings God into the situation. Because you know why? Those are Bible words. Your kids will listen more if you use those words, righteous and wicked. But when you tamp it down and say right and wrong, that's just your opinion. And I think we need to pray about this. I challenge each one of you to be on your knees before God and consider what He wants for our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all our public comments.
Everybody. This time I'll close the floor for public comments. We'll move to the comments of the commissioners. I'll start with Commissioner Cox.
I don't have any comments.
Mr. Woods.
Welcome, everybody. Appreciate y'all coming out. We thank God for the rain. Also, being Memorial Day, I've said this many times, every day is Memorial Day. We should be thankful for the ones that died and served the country so we can be here and have the freedom. But extend it to the fire departments, the medics, and the healthcare people. That's all I got.
Mr. Morrison.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome, everybody. It's good to have you here. We appreciate your comments, taking the time to come out and share your opinions with us. I would ask that you keep in your prayers the soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, and Coast Guard, and Department of War civilians that are deployed in the hot spots around the world, and pray that we keep them safe. That's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Jim.
Welcome, everybody. It's very, I guess, it pulls at your heart, a lot of the comments today. And I definitely, feel what you're going through. And the next thing is that I guess it kind of goes into even a little bit with Memorial Day, with the sacrifice that, that everybody's made, in our military, and even with the, like what Commissioner Wood mentioned, like with the healthcare and the different, services that people go into, that are willing to give their lives. And it's very, I guess it's very difficult when it comes to, people have died for the rights of us to live and have freedom. And you have both sides of, you have some people that say, hey, it's my property, and, I should be able to do pretty much what I want to do with it. And then there's, like what we're hearing tonight, there's people that, hey, I've got concerns and I've moved here and I've done, and I've done my due diligence, and I want to stay the same, or I don't want that type of thing to come in. I guess what I'm trying to get to is that, sometimes it's very, very easy to make everything so personal. And people have different opinion. My opinion is different than what some of the other people's opinions are. When it not just comes to the issue that you're talking about today, but talking about issues, a whole bunch of other issues as well. So I think that everybody, everybody wants what's best for Stokes County. And there's no personal gain up here. There's nobody that I know of that's trying to harm the community. So what I would ask is, because I don't share some of the thoughts that are prevalent with either for or against for the data centers. I think there's certain things that I think that are pretty common, and it's very, very factual. You can't argue. However, what I'm asking is please don't take it personal. I know it's hard, I guess, not to do that, but I think that trust me, if there was, I have a lot of integrity, and if I thought that somebody was making money off this on the board, you would hear directly from me. I don't, and I'm very open about that. I've lived my life serving the community and willing to give my life. And so my word was always, was me. That's all I had. I mean, I didn't make a lot of money being a police officer. And if you don't have integrity, then you don't have nothing. And just because I became a politician, I refuse to give up my integrity. But I'll turn it back over to the chair, but please, however this, because we're starting all over again, however it ends up, please keep it civil and understand that it's not, there's not a hidden agenda. It's just not a hidden agenda. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Again, I'd like to welcome each and every one of you that's here. Thank you for coming out and voicing your opinion, the differences, pro, active or not. But that's what you need to hear. You need to hear from your community, I think. Get input from your community, their feelings about stuff that's going on in our county. And I greatly appreciate that. Again, I would like to special thanks to all the military guys that served, that are serving. I didn't. I took the fire department to the military, but still yet, I commend those guys. Freedom we have today just by them serving our country. And I would like to send a special prayer out to the NASCAR family tonight with the loss of Kyle Busch. That was a big loss to the NASCAR family, so a special prayer to them. That's all I got. Got it, man? Jeff, you got anything, bud?
I have nothing to add.
No, Mr. Chairman.
Leave it. Move us to conflict of interest. Before we move further, does any board member have a conflict with any of the items on the agenda for today or one that may perceive as a conflict of interest? Move us to the consent agenda.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Information agenda. Here. Value.
Sir, Via Hill.
Oh,
Yay.
she's back.
door.
I couldn't see.
I wasn't sure where you were.
I kept looking for it. I didn't see.
I'm usually not. Well, good evening. I'm Kara Donor. I'm with Via Health. For those of you who don't know, Via Health is one of the 5 managed care plans for North Carolina. We manage Medicaid for people with intellectual and developmental mental disabilities and also substance use disorders. And until December of last year, we managed foster care, and that is now being run by Blue Cross Blue Shield. So as you can imagine, there are lots of changing things in the Medicaid space, and we're very busy with, as you can imagine, with managed care and specifically substance use disorders. And I know that this county is very familiar with those, and we've really enjoyed our work helping this county manage those things. I do have slides. I don't know if they can.
Do you have a flash drive?
No, I emailed it. I did not. You didn't get it?
I did not receive it. I'm so
No,
sorry.
it's okay. I'll grab my computer. Sorry, commissioners. I'll get you handouts somehow. Sometimes we have issues with sending things out because everything is so protected. Do you have a cord I could hook into the system?
I don't know if it'll reach.
Yeah,
have it maybe on a memory stick or something?
No, they won't let that won't work with our computers, unfortunately. If you don't have it, it's okay, but.
Yeah, I don't think you can plug your computer into our system.
Okay, no worries, no, that is fine. Well, so every quarter VIA makes sure we give the counties an update to make sure you know what's going on and the different numbers. So I wanted to give you an update. So the North Carolina General Assembly did finally agree on Medicaid, on fixing the Medicaid deficit. So they agreed to a $319 million deficit fix, as I'm sure you all are aware. So specifically, this money is for tailored plans, utilization management, and fraud prevention for DHHS and the legislature. And I did say that December 1st was the go live date for foster care services transferring over to Blue Cross Blue Shield. So you can't see this. Let's see if I can make this bigger on my screen. Just wanted to give you kind of some updates on members served by age and category here in Stokes County. So this is for a quarter. So mostly adults are served. So 509 adults were served, 25 to 64 years old. 164 children to 12 years old were served. 97 adolescents from 13 to 17, and 79 transitional youth, 18 to 24. And then adults 65 plus 67 people were served. So the highest volumes of services by district members were to see physicians, but the most were physician and specialty areas. So that's dealing with, mental health diagnoses. And then the biggest that we usually see are outpatient services. Those are the biggest categories typically. So just to give you a snapshot, so for tailored plan management here in Stokes County, we see 679 people. For managed care direct, that's 164 people. And then for people in state funded who aren't in any particular plan in the government, we saw 78 people. So the highest number of providers in this county, Novant Health Medical Group was the biggest. They saw 206 members. Wake Forest was the second biggest, 202, and then the third one was Daymark Recovery Services. By hospital admissions, Forsyth Memorial Hospital was the largest in admissions, and that was only 9. North Carolina Baptist Hospital was the second highest at 8. So I always like to give you a snapshot of the innovations waiver by age group. So 2 children were seen in that group, up to 12. You have in the adolescent group from 13 to 17, 4. In transitional youth, 18 to 24, 6 people were served. And the highest category, adults, age 25 to 64, 36 were seen. And then the adults 65 plus were 2 people were seen. And I did want to provide some information. So we have a Stokes crisis response collaborative here, where we bring together stakeholders to discuss issues, whether that's law enforcement or EMS. It is a very robust group here, and anyone is welcome to attend. Mina Kajuria runs that program. So I'll provide the commissioners, but I'll give everyone her email address. It's Mina, MEENAL .Kajuria, and that's KHAJURIA @viahealth.com. We also have a collaborative meeting, and that is a really amazing group, and we love people attending that as well. So they focus more on children, what's going on in schools, where the holes are. We've discussed things like vape shops, how kids are getting their hands on things. I know that's a big issue always. So if you ever want to join that group, it meets once a month. Jocelyn, I'll spell that, JOCELYN .Williams@viahealth.com runs those events. So they're really great. And we also have a VIA calendar of events on our website, and also trainings listed on our website. So we have great trainings like suicide prevention, which I've attended that myself, and there's always something new to learn. But we're dealing with a lot of different things. The system of care group really gets into what teenagers want, what they're dealing with. They have a lot of things going on that we didn't, in terms of gaming or social media. So there's just a lot of dangers that I'm sure you've all heard of that we're always learning about. So if you're interested to be involved in those groups, I would definitely email them. And I think that's it. I have a couple more. So I do have one form I wanted to put in your slides again. We have a youth leadership. It's called a Youth Partner Referral Form. So if you know of any youth who maybe need some emotional support, maybe they're struggling, or they have an emotional health challenge, they can be involved in this free program where they're mentored. It's a great program. The people who run this are amazing. We are able to do it because of a grant that we received specifically for this region. So that will be in the slides that I will somehow get you. I think that is it. Does anyone have any questions for me?
Maybe you can send it to us. But do you have any comparisons to the services, the treatments that you gave, let's say last year and the year before that? Are we trending up? Are we staying flat? Are we less?
For example, the suicide rates. We've been
Okay.
at the top.
Yeah, I can get that information to see how you're trending, for sure. For the information we have. Sure. Yeah.
I don't have any questions. Thank you, though. Good presentation.
Thank you. Sorry that.
Can you email it to us?
Okay.
Yeah, it might have been our firewall because sometimes ours is the same way.
Okay.
So do you have a business card or anything?
I do, and I sent it in a PowerPoint, and that bounced back, and then I sent it in a PDF.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I checked through and I still didn't see it. So sometimes
Okay.
if I can take your email to IT and
Okay.
they can make sure it comes through. Hopefully.
Okay. Firewalls.
If not,
yeah.
it's just
Fine.
it's where we're both.
Yeah, we both have
both-
them, I'm sure. So thank you. Oh, yes. Yes.
I just have a couple questions. Are you aware of the big transition we're getting ready to do with Novant?
Slightly.
Okay.
Do you have any questions about
Yeah,
that?
well, they're getting ready to take over the hospital and all of our medical services throughout the county,
Yes.
which is a big change. I was just kind of curious of how that might impact what you guys are doing. Plus, it'll put Blue Cross Blue Shield back on the table for one thing.
Yes, so we work closely with Novant and Blue Cross. So a lot of these meetings that I mentioned, the crisis meetings, the standard plans are in those already. So
Okay.
we share information. I think we do things slightly different. We're more localized, I think, but still we work together and make sure we're sharing information. It's very important for us to be able to stay in the know with other organizations and what they're doing and how we can partner and help, because I think the more collaborative you are, the stronger you are for the county. So
Maybe once we get that
yeah.
transition done, you can kind of plug in and see what the differences are and see if it triggers anything that you guys need to do.
Sure. I mean, For the most part, VIA focuses more on care for more severe mental illness. So that's really how we differ from a Novant. So for example, like anxiety would be something that Novant would be more attuned to deal with. We would have something more like, an intellectual disability, where we provide more, I guess, higher levels of care. So that's really how we differ. We do the same things in terms of providing, physical health services, but there are certain ways we overlap, but other ways where we kind of stick to our own zones for specialties.
Okay. And my next question is, there's a lot of activity, indictments and so forth, going on with fraud associated with Medicaid and lots of programs in states like Minnesota, California, whatever. Do you guys, have you seen any increased activity, say from the federal government or anybody, about looking closer at what we're doing in North Carolina from a fraud perspective?
I couldn't answer for the state, but I know that we have systems in place already at VIA, because VIA is technically local government. I know it gets viewed as more of a business entity, but we are local. So we have different systems in place that manage that, and we report everything to the state every month, regarding our meetings, regarding our members, the dollar amounts, everything. So we're highly monitored. So we make sure to watch all of this, but I couldn't give you an answer in terms of the state and how they're managing the fraud, but we're very aware of it. I don't remember hearing any, and not saying that it doesn't exist, of course, but I don't remember hearing anything recently on fraud within VIA.
Okay. What did you say at the beginning about foster care was something?
So we went to bid for the state. So VIA previously handled foster care for North Carolina, along with other tailored plan entities. So we went to bid, and Blue Cross Blue Shield won that bid.
Oh, okay.
So we worked over a long time to transfer all of that over to Blue Cross Blue Shield, and so that went live on December 1st.
Oh, okay.
So we've worked to make sure we've transferred all the kiddos and made sure that was as seamless as possible.
That's all complete now and everything's going
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. That's it. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That moves us to the public hearing on the proposed budget for 2026, 2027.
So for our public hearing, just to read through it again, each speaker will be allowed 4 minutes with the option to yield time to another speaker, add an optional minute depending on the number of speakers that have signed up, while abiding by the 30-minute total time limit. All speakers shall maintain good decorum, show respect and good manners. Vulgar language, profanity, inappropriate gestures, insults, personal attacks, accusations, and inflammatory language is prohibited. The chairman of the board shall enforce these rules, and anyone not complying with these rules shall not be allowed to continue. We have Jeff Whitaker.
Good evening, Board. Jeff Whitaker, Chief of Danbury Volunteer Fire Department. I'm here to speak on the proposed budget for the service district. I urge you to keep it as it was for Danbury Fire Department. I know Commissioner Wood and the county manager have been to our department and seen the need for a new station for Danbury. Those not familiar, where our offices are and where 2 of our trucks are parked is in a 100-year-old store building. It was converted when the fire department was formed in '67. It was donated as a station, and it was a store, and it's been converted. We have 2 trucks housed there, as well as our offices. And then if you come down, we have 3 bays in the center section. And I know Commissioner Barney is familiar with the old Sartown station, where when you backed 438 in, you was at the door and the back was against the wall. And right now we have a truck that's just in that same situation. When you back it in, the ladder reaches the back wall and the front of the truck is against the door. So there's no way to walk around that. And it is now the oldest truck in the county. It's an 88 Grumman, still in good condition. But we have no room to grow because with all the NFPA specifications on a fire truck now, there's no way to get a truck that will fit in that bay anymore. And then we have the new addition that was built in the late 90s. What this budget will do for Danbury Fire Department is, and the reason it was put in that way is because the contract had not been approved by the county manager and attorney at the time when we put the budget in. The fire commissioners are going to do it as a budget amendment for $14,500. I know that's a lot of money. However, if you go back and check Danbury's budgets from 2019 till this year, and 2019 was the last year that we had any capital outlay. That's when we bought the last new truck at Danbury, which was the mini pumper. After that, we haven't put anything in capital outlay. Our budgets have always been roughly the smallest in the county, or next to the smallest. We've never went out and asked for a lot. We want enough to get by. But this year we are asking $14,500. What this contract will do for us will allow us to plan the station, get us a drawing and a rough budget, and that way we can start looking for funding. I know in the 5-year plan it's set for around 2028, and we do know there's got to be funding found to be able to do this. I have kept a list of the money that the state has given to fire departments since we started this project several years ago, looking at building a new station, and I have a list that shows every fire department that's received money for building, for construction. And by able to do this 14.5 will get us a chance to be able to start asking for money and how we're going to fund this. If we have to go through a U.S. Department of Agriculture grant, rural grant to secure funding, or how can we pay for this fire department? So that's, like I said, I invite any of you to come down to our station. You'll see what I'm talking about. It won't take you long to realize that this is a need and not a want. If it was a want, I wouldn't be here standing before you tonight. But it is definitely a need that we've got to do something at Danbury to be able to prepare for the future for the next time we get a new fire truck. Because I've told the fire commissioners, if you told me that tomorrow I could go order a new truck, I'd have to decline because I've got nowhere to put it. I've got no bay that a new truck will fit in. And I'd have to just decline the offer and go give it to somebody else. But what this will do, get the ball started. It'll allow us to plan and allow us to get to a budget that we can start asking. Because I've talked to Representative Hall, I've talked to our Senator Jones, and nobody will even start committing until they see a drawing or see a budget. And if we're able to do that this year, like I said, it will be a budget amendment because the contract wasn't approved. The contract has been approved now. The county manager has seen a copy of the contract. It has been approved as far as being a good contract and one that we can sign. It'll be with Bobby Construction, who built Rural Hall's Fire Department. They've been great to work with. They've actually done a lot free for us. They've actually done an initial drawing of a rough sketch of it that didn't cost us anything. They told us, we told them we didn't have money to pay for it. We have done a survey. We did have money. The survey is complete. Now we're just asking, please leave the $14,500 in for Danbury this year. We need it to get started with our project. And like I said, any of you can contact me. I'll give you a tour anytime. I'm out of school starting Friday. Friday's my last day. I'll meet with you anytime, morning, night, to give you a tour of our station so you can see that what I'm talking about is real and that we are in a definite spot that we've got to do something for the Danbury Volunteer Fire Department. So I urge you, like I said, it will be a budget amendment because the way it came about with the contract. Please leave that in there. We need it. Danbury needs it. Thank you.
That's all I have.
No. closed on the public hearing. Move us to discuss the agenda.
Can I make a comment,
Go ahead, sir. I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Chairman? An update for the board and for the public. You all know that as of the work session that we had last Thursday to talk about the budget, at that time, we still didn't have an agreement with the Fire Commission on the fire service district budget. And the good news is, on Friday morning, I learned that the Fire Commission agreed to the budget suggestion that I sent to them on Thursday, in line with the guidance that you gave me during that work session on Thursday. And so the outcome of that is, if you start with the budget recommendation that we got from the Fire Commission originally, it included 2 augmentations to paid staff. One changed the current staffing from a partial staffing model throughout the week to a 12-hour per day, 7 days per week staffing resources for staffing, funding for that. And then on top of that, they were asking for another 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for a second person that can be there part of the time. And the guidance that you gave me was to remove the second portion of that. And that's what I suggested back to the Fire Commission last Thursday. They agreed to that on Friday. So everything that was in the Fire Commission's recommended budget besides that is in the current budget as it's been laid out. And those updates were made to the budget ordinance that was uploaded to the agenda for public viewing last Friday. It's not properly reflected in the chapters or the sections of the operating plan yet, but at least in the budget ordinance, that update has been made.
Great to hear. Good news. Great to see people working together. That'll move us to the discussed agenda, Mortalk Park.
So this is kind of a late ad. It wasn't on the agenda when we published it on Friday, but we all have been kind of watching the situation at Mortalk Park, and with all that construction going on, with the bridge project going on there, you all recall that before this project started, we came to you with some concerns about how this would play out, whether or not it was appropriate to leave the park open or close part of the park, or and what we're seeing is we're approaching, more of the fair weather now. We're getting into the summer months. It is causing some real problems, and maybe most concerning is kind of the safety issues that we're seeing pop up with people, where they're parking and how they're parking, and the overcrowding, and we added this to the agenda to maybe allow you to consider other things that we might do. For example, maybe we talked about this early on before the project started, about maybe closing the park while this project goes on because of the potential safety concerns, and I think we need to put that back on the table again.
Can I add something?
Yeah.
I travel that road 2 or 3 times a day. During the week, there's no problem. You might want to consider the weekend. I don't know. But here's the part that I didn't even understand this until 2 or 3 weeks ago. The bridge that has been poured is half the bridge. The old bridge has to be tore down. And I don't think the county ought to be liable when you're tearing down a bridge, when you got people in a park. The other problem is alcohol during weekends. I have personally seen, and Stuart, and thank God he's not here, he needs a break. We got people parking on the bridge, the new bridge, until they put equipment this past weekend where they couldn't get on it. So I think, I know we're discussing it, but we need to do something quick. I think that my understanding is they're starting to tear down the bridge June 1. And my calendar says that's a week out.
agree with what you're saying. I don't think it's a problem during the week. And I know a lot of local people use it, go walking their dogs down there and different things during the week. I would hate to do anything where the local people that do enjoy it during the week couldn't use it, but it is a safety concern if they're going to start tearing down that bridge, because they'll be doing that during the week for sure. Maybe we should temporarily close it while they're doing that and revisit it. in a month or two.
Weekends and holidays?
Close it weekends and
Is
holidays.
that what you're saying, or?
For sure, weekends and holidays, yeah. But I'm not so sure it shouldn't be completely closed while they're tearing down that old bridge.
Would it affect any part of the tubing? Tubers?
I think at one point, when we were discussing shutting it down, the tubing was gonna be allowed, as long as they didn't access,
You can still access from the
as
other
long as
side.
you get out on the Danbury side.
Right.
Because there's a major problem. You got tubers and kayakers putting way up here and don't even know what's going on down here. So we can't let them go all the way to the Atlantic Ocean before they get out.
It's a lazy river.
It's a problem. It's something we don't need. We need to put some.
Liability there.
We need to put some thought in it, and especially Stuart's input. I think Stuart mentioned to me once that a few weeks ago it needs to be closed, and Smith and Rowe even thought it might be a safety thing, and then it went away. But Stuart has had his hands full beyond belief. And most of the water lines in. I think they're just testing it now.
How would they go about closing it? You're gonna have to put a deputy there all.
Yeah, we discussed that a little bit this afternoon. I don't think it's realistic to have somebody posted there all the time, but we, could work with the sheriff's office and ensure that they cycle through there periodically. And it's going to take
Two
probably
deputies.
repetitive
There was
corrections
one there
before
this
you-
weekend.
Working it, we've had deputies there all weekend.
Also, one of the highway patrolmen is saying we need to do something.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I think they had, 3 DUIs up there?
Well, I can contest to it. 2 weeks ago, last Sunday, where I'm in the fire service, I get to hear the sheriff's side as well. And I heard all this going on at Moortop Park, so I took it upon myself to ride over there and just see what was going on. Several vehicles got towed away that was parked where they should not be parked. I talked to Trooper James. I think there was already 3 DWIs already wrote. He said large amounts of alcohol involved, and I've never seen this much trash in my life. Matter of fact, I called Jeff on Monday and asked him to get with Stuart just to see how bad it was over there Monday when he got in, just to look at all that over there. So my feelings, and especially this construction going on, I was looking at all that equipment they got over there and all that stuff. They started tearing that down. We as a county need to be liable if somebody gets a piece of concrete in the top of their head.
We're on 6 o'clock news enough as it is.
I mean, I hate to shut a part down, but right now we're doing construction, and people's got to understand that part. But I was real concerned about Trooper James talking about how much alcohol was involved. Is people's gonna leave there driving, and that's a big concern. So hopefully we can curb that somehow or another. But yeah, I'm in favor of closing it down for right now while we're under construction, just for liability.
Close it down on weekend and holiday.
Another thing that a lot of people griped about is people from outside the county. What y'all don't realize, and Tori brought it to my attention, that park was started with federal money, so don't even go there.
Yeah.
But you still gonna need time to get the word out.
Yeah.
Maybe put up I don't know how many big signs we got, 1 or 2.
Message signs,
Yes, message signs. maybe shoot for July 1 or middle of July. You just can't.
Not if they're gonna start tearing down that bridge.
Yeah, but I don't know that for sure. I'm just going what I was told. I'd rather it come from the mouth of the
I would have
contractor.
it blocked off this weekend.
I would think that we could get the word out in 3 weeks. To a satisfactory level.
So we're saying that just weekends and holidays, but it's okay during the week.
Well,
People.
We still have safety concerns, right?
You said shut it down altogether.
While they're tearing that bridge down, I'll just shut it down.
yeah,
all
well,
day.
we was saying while that bridge, when they start tearing the bridge, shut it down completely. So we get that bridge completely
Yeah.
gone.
I just wanted to make sure. I thought I might have misunderstood. I thought we were just going to do it on weekends and on holidays.
Has the shelter's been booked?
We have three bookings that we know of for this summer. I think on a case-by-case basis for people that want to reserve something for a special purpose, we may be able to accommodate it while having the rest of the park closed down.
They're just using the shelter, maybe.
Yeah, and given the fact that there were previous bookings.
One of the shelters is not close to the construction. Could you use that one? I think didn't we have the insurance pool look at this before we started, and they sort of gave a go-ahead, but they may need to be updated on, I don't think they probably understood all this stuff that was going to happen.
There was a lot of people there 2 weeks ago, last Sunday. A lot of people.
And will the bridge be one-way traffic? The new one, until the other half, it's not wide enough for 2 cars right now.
I think so.
Oh, it's been fun. Smith and Rowe's done a great job of it.
So maybe if I could suggest, if you want to give us guidance to put together a plan to shut down the park. Starting June 13th or June 20th. Get the word out.
The people that use it are not gonna know till they get there. So this weekend, when they get there, they'll see a sign that says the 13th is gonna be closed. Right.
We can't close down the navigational waterway.
Right.
So, devil's advocate, if I'm floating down with my family, and then
You climb out.
yes,
You're
you're going to charge me.
You can climb out
Get
on
out.
the Danbury side.
Just don't hang around.
Climb out on the Danbury side. I mean, you can climb out wherever, but you're not going to have a vehicle parked there. So why would you climb out?
Well, I'd be like everybody else does. They have a vehicle park one place, so that's
Right, but
down,
they're not
and
gonna
then
park
somebody
down
else.
here.
Well, we're gonna have to get word
It's
to the 3
closed.
businesses.
If it's
around
closed,
it.
they won't be parking there.
Right. So, but like I said, if you need to go use the bathroom up at the up where you rent the tubes, then get out and go to the tube place. But you can get out on that side. There's steps going up the bank right there. So people can still get out there.
You'd be
Right.
surprised.
Yeah, I guess if they get out on the other side and hang out for a while and get back in the boat and go on, we don't really care, do we?
That's not the problem.
That ain't the problem, yeah.
The tubers are not the problem.
No.
So
So you're gonna do a plan, Jeff?
Yeah, I mean, so
we've got blinking sign, like electric signs, right? You can put up there with the message
if
board.
we got the
signs.
message boards out there this weekend, we'd have 2 weekends to get a message before it's closing down on the 13th.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Is it just gonna be weekends and holidays so far, till they start
Let
the bridge?
us get
Talk to
a
Stuart.
more clear understanding of
Yes,
when they think the
definitely.
demolition is
The
going to take
bridge.
place.
Okay, all right.
And if it's going to be imminent, then I'd say shut it down.
I know
It's
we
not
got some
gonna be
time
that we can
because
just
the
do weekends
entrance
until it
ramps to the
happens.
bridge are not paved yet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, if you can get an update on
and
where.
we would have to vote on this anyway, right? Move it to an action for next meeting. That would give you time
I
to get.
think we're just giving him consensus, right?
You can move it to action tonight. Give you that guidance, so.
Do I hear amen from you?
Amen.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's move to action tonight, that way.
It's clear then, yeah.
Yeah.
Do it.
Jeff, just emphasize to the businesses that it's just temporary.
Yeah.
I know they make a lot of money in the summertime.
Well, it shouldn't affect
People-
people, no.
About the people, the restaurants and stuff like that, a lot of people
They
come
ain't
in
making
here.
no money off the people that go to Moordock Park. They bring their own food.
Well, the beer sales is up.
Well, yeah,
They're right on that.
okay.
I'm pouring on that one.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Jennifer, legal thing, so would we have to create an ordinance, or could we run off if someone doesn't want to leave a state charge, or would have to be a ordinance?
Trespassing.
It would be a trespass charge, correct? Like as long as it's noticed and posted, which you're giving the county manager authority to do, then you would be able to issue a trespass charge.
Under state statute?
Yes. So it's not under the county ordinance, but if the county owns the property, which we do, and it's posted, then we could then proceed through the state statute for trespass.
That'll be D on.
Everybody good? So that moves us to the action agenda.
For our first item on the action agenda, we had the Aging Planning Committee appointment. At the last meeting, the board nominated Bohannon. We actually did receive another application, but I'm in talks with the chairperson about a potential technicality in the bylaws. The resident does a lot of work in Stokes County, but technically currently resides in Rockingham, so I'm waiting to see how that works out. Eventually, she plans to live in Stokes County, but I'm not sure if there's a potential conflict there, so there's still a spot for her should that appointment come through, but for right now, we only have Bohannon, so if we would like to poll the board for her appointment.
Bohannon?
Johanna?
All five.
Then we have the Board of Health appointment. At the last meeting, the board nominated Tim Mabe to stay in the position. I've received no other applications. We can poll the board for Mabe.
Mabe?
Hey,
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 Maybe.
well,
Then the Tourism Development Authority appointment. At the last meeting, the board nominated Whitner. Received no other applications. Polled the board for Whitner.
Whitner?
Whitner.
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 And then the item for the Moortalk Park closure agreement to let Jeff draft a plan and
So, yeah, maybe to be clear, what I'd suggest is you authorize me to implement park closure on weekends and holidays starting June 13th until such time that demolition work begins on the old bridge, and at that time implement a full-time closure of the park.
That sounds good. Make a motion.
Yes.
Stated by the county manager.
Yes.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
and that's all our items for the action agenda.
Have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.